two futures. One choice. No escape. Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle, thought he had escaped the chains of fate. He was wrong. Orion has given him an impossible order. Rescue a child he has never met, a god in the making, or stay to raise the child he fought so hard to have. But while he hesitates in making a decision, a dark force stirs, obsessed with a fallen deity and hell-bent on claiming the newborn for its own sinister plans. How did we get to this point? We'll begin in DC Comics' New Gods Issue 1. It opens with an account of the cosmic entity Amaxazu, the creation of the universe, and the birth and death of Darkseid. From the remains of this cosmic entity's lifeless form, the universe came into being, infused with one of DC's most mystical forces, an enigmatic energy known as the Source. Hyman's narration presents a theory about the Source, describing it as the purest form of knowledge, pristine, limitless, and beyond comprehension, because it embodies every possible truth simultaneously. In the following scene, Metron is depicted drawing insight through a vision as he taps into the immense power of the Source Wall. It is revealed that Metron is witnessing a dire prophecy, one that speaks of an impending cataclysm among the new gods. The vision warns that when the essence of the original divine force is shattered, an overwhelming darkness will consume their kind. In the final critical moment, an appointed avatar will rise, bearing 8 sacred abilities. This being's emergence will mark the climactic battle that determines the fate of all existence. Later, Metron shares this revelation with Highfather, explaining that Darkseid's demise has thrown the universe into a dangerous state of imbalance. He speaks of an extraordinary child, a newly born god on Earth, but it remains unclear whether this figure will serve as their salvation or their doom. The full details of the prophecy remain unknown, yet Highfather is compelled to act. To meet this crisis, he calls upon his adopted son, Orion, for an important mission. With urgency, Highfather seeks out a warrior to rise to the occasion. Lightray arrives first, but it is Orion whom Highfather believes is destined for this daunting challenge. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the cosmos, Orion, the champion of New Genesis, wages war against various alien factions, rogue parademons, and others who have either fled or taken up arms in the power vacuum left behind by Darkseid's absence. Highfather calls upon Orion personally, making it clear that he has a mission meant specifically for him. Later, we find Scott and Big Barda living a peaceful life on Earth, cherishing their time with their newborn daughter Olivia. While Olivia and Barda sleep, Orion visits Scott to deliver a grim revelation. Highfather has ordered him to track down and kill a mysterious child. Though bound by duty to obey his father, Orion doesn't want to carry out this command, so he pleads with Scott to find the child and disappear before he returns in 7 days. Orion believes Highfather chose him for this task because, as the son of Darkseid, he has always followed orders, even when they lead to terrible consequences. At first, Scott adamantly refuses, insisting that he has his own family to protect now and accusing Orion of losing his mind. Desperate, Orion tries to stir Scott's conscience, reminding him that he too was once an innocent pawn thrown into the cruel machinations of the gods. The issue concludes with a scene in India where a young boy named Kamal is being hunted by mercenaries working for Maxwell Lord. As the boy's father takes a bullet to the knee, Kamal cries out for him, triggering a sudden and immense surge of power. With his eyes glowing white and his body levitating, the very air around him crackles with energy, before the helicopter pursuing them is obliterated in an instant. In New Gods Issue 2, numerous factions emerge, each taking decisive steps toward their own ambitions. Deep within the Machinotarum, a void beyond the known reaches of space, Karok the Scavenger learns of Darkseid's death and the arrogance of the so-called gods who cling desperately to their power. The Scavenger has earned his reputation as a slayer of all, gods, demons, heroes, and villains alike, making no distinction as he has annihilated them all. Determined to erase the remnants of their pride, he sets his sights on his first target, the obliteration of Apocalypse. The narration forewarns that New Genesis will collapse, the Dvaris on the Outer Rim will perish, and Apocalypse will resound with the drums of war. It proclaims that the fall is inevitable, the end is near, but even gods may yet be saved by an unforeseen miracle. It is then revealed that this vision is a nightmare-haunting Highfather, who awakens to the comforting presence of Akala, while Light Ray watches from a distance, hearing the anguished cries of his father. Meanwhile, on Earth, Mr. Miracle pens an emotional letter to his wife, explaining his painful decision to leave and fulfill Orion's plea to protect a mysterious child. In the letter, he admits that walking away from his family makes him a fool, but he cannot deny his true nature. He refuses to let fear or hesitation rob him of the little time he has left to see this mission through. He assures her that he has no intention of putting their family in danger, swears he will come back, and simply asks for her forgiveness for what he is about to do. Just as he steps out the door, a pissed Big Barda catches him off guard, making it clear that she's coming along, whether he likes it or not. He lays out the details of his mission and explains who they need to find, starting with Oberon. When he sheepishly asks if she's angry that he kept his plan from her, she smacks him in the head with a pack of baby diapers and declares he's on diaper duty for life. Meanwhile, the adoptive parents of the godchild are constantly on the move, traveling from town to town in India to stay ahead of Maxwell Lord's forces. Their child is recovering from a fever, his body overwhelmed after unleashing a massive surge of power to protect them in the previous issue. We begin to see a shift in the parents' beliefs. Once skeptical of the idea of gods, they are now forced to reckon with the reality that they might be raising one. It's also revealed that the child's explosion of energy may have been a direct connection to the power of the source, which resulted in the complete annihilation of Maxwell Lord's troops. Through a flashback, we discover that Metron himself had tasked Lord with finding the child, and his actions are now being carefully monitored by Seraphan. As the issue nears its conclusion, Desaad receives chilling news. The godchild may be destined to bring balance back to Apocalypse as Darkseid's successor. To seize the child, Desaad realizes he must abandon Apocalypse, leaving it vulnerable to Scavenger's inevitable arrival. Metron warns him that time is running out, foretelling that the end will be marked by an eclipse, a devouring of the god's final light. With the countdown now set, Scott finds himself at the heart of a desperate race in this second issue of Kirby's Fourth World Revival. This issue is layered with deep emotional weight, capturing both the anxieties of the present and the hope of what's to come. With so many narrative threads in motion, it's clear that readers are in for a truly rewarding and thrilling experience. What are your thoughts on the New God storyline so far? Which responsibility carries more weight, saving an entire world at the cost of your family's lives or safeguarding your own family? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.